What up, what up, what up, New York Giant Nation? It is your boy, Mac the Giants fan. This is the true blue aftermath. Let's go,
It's gonna be
baby.
great. You gotta work at it, right?
I'm on one today. It's a great day to be great, bro. Remember that. It's a great day to be great. Let's go out here. Let's get a win. Let's focus on the details, man.
What is going on out there, New York Giant Nation? For the first time in 6 years. Yes, the first time in 6 long, hard years. It's been brutal. The New York Giants have finally pulled off another week 1 win. The New York Giants are above 500 for the first time since I don't even remember. It's been at least 4 years or so, 4 or 5 years since we even been over 500. Granted, it's only week 1. But you know what? We went down to Nashville and we came out of there with a win against a team that I think most people definitely considered was a better football team than us, myself included. But our boys showed us something that they didn't have been shown in a long, long time, and that was the ability to keep fighting and keep grinding. So yeah, we pulled it off. Sure, we needed a little luck at the end with that missed field goal, but hey, it takes a little luck sometimes. Look, let's start from the top. Is it safe to say number 26 is back? Because I'm going to say number 26 is back. Number 26 is he's once again healthy. And he went out there today and showed what a healthy Saquon Barkley can do. For all you doubters, all you haters, everybody that wanted to just disregard him, throw him away like rubbish. Without 26 today, this conversation wouldn't even be going the way it's going right now. Oh yeah, Barkley is back. Believe that. Believe that shit. Healthy Saquon Barkley. What'd he go out there and do? 18 carries, 164 yards, big touchdown, game-winning 2-point conversion. Yeah, he's back, baby. Don't be doubting that man. That man's a savage. He just had a run of bad luck with the injuries the last few years. It's been a run of bad luck. But when he's healthy, he just proved like he did today, he's fucking savage. Daniel Jones. All right. Daniel Jones. Gotta bring it down a little bit. 17 to 21, 188 yards, 2 touchdown passes. But he also had a couple turnovers on the day. The one fumble, I'm not gonna hold it on him too much, you know what I mean? Give me 1 second, Jaden. I got you, my brother. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna hold it against you too much, man. But at the same time, bro, you still gotta get a little more consistent with your play. Absolutely gotta get a little more consistent with your play. Because it's still not where it needs to be, man. 100% of the time, man. What's going on in the chat? Damn Big Blue. Blue City Empire, man. What's up? But yeah, it's it's just not where it needs to be, man. So you got to elevate that level of play. Daniel Jones still continue. However, you did come in the clutch in the fourth quarter, and I'm not. Hey, look, we weathered the storm on those turnovers, so I'm not going to beat you up about it. But you still got to clean it up. That attempted back shoulder throw to Barkley. That was just a very, very terrible decision, man. Very terrible decision. So, got to do better, man. Got to definitely do better when it comes to that. And, I mean, you just got to keep continuing to try to elevate your play. This defense played tough, man. I'm pretty proud of this defense overall. It was definitely a rock solid effort. And I'm not going to sit here and complain about the defense. Nothing the defense did today, man. Look, a few hiccups along the way, but overall it was still a great effort, and they kept us in this game all the way, man. Also, without the efforts of this defense, we would have never stood a chance in this game either, man. Between Saquon Barkley and his defense, and then Daniel Jones' play down the stretch, it definitely did make a difference. So, do gotta say hats off to that defense, man. Hats off to the defense. Dory Jackson out there looking pretty solid, holding up for the most part. Like I said, a couple hiccups along the way, man, but it was definitely a performance that was needed, man. What's going on? Bring you on in, Jaden. What's up, bro?
No, Mentis.
How you feel about this week one victory, man? Been a long time, man.
It's been a long time, you know. As soon as we won the game, I was screaming on the top of my lungs, like finally. And
I
my
saw
voice,
that field goal sailing. Yeah, I was like, I saw that field goal sailing left. I was like, whoo, thank you. Because
now
the
look,
referees
when
did
he missed
everything
the
they
field
could to
goal,
get them downfield.
yeah.
Go ahead.
As soon as they missed the field goal, I thought the refs about to call a flag for offsides.
I mean, it wouldn't have shocked me at that point because they did everything they could to get them downfield at that point anyway. I mean, I get it. Those were, I guess, you could say they were legitimate penalties. They were, but at the same time, sometimes if it was the other way around, would the referee look the other way? If it was us trying to drive against Tennessee in that situation, same situation, I feel like refs would look the other way a little bit more so. It's like they tried to do everything they could to position Tennessee to win that football game on that final drive, man. And I'm just glad that it worked out the way it did because we fought back hard. That was a gutsy call by New York Giant head coach Brian Dable to go for that 2-point conversion. I mean, that was just clutch, man. Like a lot of coaches obviously would not have made that decision, would have just kicked the extra point and tied it up and played for overtime. But our coach said, you know what, this is a 4-13 team from a year ago. We're going for the win right now down here in Nashville, man. That's what he did. He got the job done. And Saquon Barkley, like I said, can't say more about his performance today, man. Just lit it up, man. He tore it up out there, and I'm so happy to see him back looking
Oh,
like the real Saquon Barkley. Up here come my super dope co-host Adam Costas. What's going on, AC?
Hello, 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 and what a victory it was.
Yes, it was, man. Yes,
yeah.
it was.
We've got a lot to clean up. Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. You know, I know people are going to be like, you're negative. No, Tennessee let us hang around. There was a lot of times where I'm like, what are you doing, Tennessee? Like on 3rd and 1, for example. They're doing 3rd and 1. They did a toss play to the tight end,
Stupid.
and it went
That was
negative
dumb
6
as hell.
yards.
Yeah, another
Like,
play, man, when they did like a wildcat. I don't know why, but
yes, that cost them too. That cost them a big play. Like, I'm not trying to poo-poo the win. It was a great victory, but I'm saying, like, for me, you don't do those plays. Just take the advantage. Like, it feels like the Titans were not playing to win. They're playing to, like, you know, kind of just coast. Like, oh, our defense is going to beat you. And, like the first half, right? First half is a tale of two halves. The Giants looked absolutely atrocious in the first half. Like, didn't know what they were doing. Blocking assignments terrible. Our quarterback looked like he needed to be replaced, right? And right now, like, don't get me wrong, Daniel had a good game, but his numbers are like average. And that's what you're going to get. You're going to get average quarterback play. And if that's enough to win some games, and that's enough to win some games. This was all on Saquon Barkley and a solid defensive performance overall. I can't knock the defense. They played a hell of a game. Still get. That's another thing, too, is like they only did one bomb down the field. Tennessee Titans. I have no idea what their philosophy was. You know what I mean? And we'll see. What I want to know is why is Kadarius Toney not playing? Like, where was he?
He didn't.
Every time he came in the
wasn't
game,
there
telegraphed.
until
every
like the
time.
3rd quarter or whatever. Before I even knew he was playing.
Where was Kenny Galladay? He played nowhere to be found.
He sucks.
Kenny Galladay, 2 catches for 22 yards, but he did only have the 2 targets, but he caught both of them. But that's it. Like where else is he at in this offense? Why? What purpose is he serving in this offense if he's only going to get 2 targets and he's making more money than all the rest of the wide receivers combined, basically? Why is this guy only getting 2 targets, man? I'm still really baffled by the use of him. I don't get it. Maybe he is washed. I don't know what the
Well, that
situation is with
interception
that
was
dude.
dumb, Alex. That interception was so dumb. Daniel Jones looked right at Barkley and then threw it right at Barkley. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Some of the same things that happened with Daniel still happened in this game. We won because he came through when we needed to in certain times. But those things can't happen if we want us to stay in long-term winning.
I absolutely agree, but I think that's what, like up in the comments earlier when they were Blue City and Jaden were talking about in the comments. Brian Dable went right over there on that sideline and held Daniel Jones immediately accountable, and then that turned the light bulb on, obviously, because from that point on, Daniel Jones played pretty lights out from that point on in the game.
Yeah, but it shouldn't take that. It shouldn't take.
It shouldn't
getting reprimanded. This is what happens with Daniel. He'll throw an interception or have a bad game, then he'll get reamed out. In the second half, he'll look like a different quarterback. I need you to start the game like that. Because you look at the game, right? He had 185 yards and 2 touchdowns. The guy on the other side, who's just as average as he was, had 240 yards and 2 touchdowns and no interceptions or turnovers. You know, Tannehill played a winning performance. So did Daniel Jones. But at the beginning, you can't have that sack fumble. You got to know that guy's coming. You got to feel that heat, and you just got to eat that ball. You can't just stand there and try to throw it.
I can agree with that, but the pass blocking was really rough in the first half of this game, and they did step up, pick up as the game progressed. So I am happy to say the offensive line started looking a lot better as the game progressed.
Oh yeah.
As we started getting into the third and fourth quarters of this game, things started getting better. And I agree, it shouldn't take getting reprimanded on the sideline, but the fact that still did light a fire under his ass and he went out there and got the job done, you know, I can still just really appreciate that, man.
I agree with Daniel. I'll give Daniel credit, but there are some things he needs to clean up for him to be here long term, because the way he played the first half of the game and his stat line that he ended with, I like that we won. Great game. Defensively, we didn't stop anybody, really. I mean, they moved down the field, just march. It was stupidity by the Tennessee Titans. Like, again, 4th and 1, doing something stupid, doing a wildcat offense. And the thing that I don't like about Tony is he came in for 3 plays. The defense knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, but what's going on, Zion? What you got? How you feeling about the win today, man?
I'm super happy about this win. Let me tell you the reasons why. Okay, obviously, I wasn't expecting us to have the victory here, being against the Tennessee Titans. This is not a team that's looking to rebuild. This is the team that is rebuild, that is fighting for the playoff spots, and in the playoffs mostly every year for the past 3 seasons. You know what I'm saying? And when we come out there, and I get it, you know, we made a lot of mistakes, and yes, Daniel Jones has a lot to clean up. It was a sloppy game at first, but what we did see in the second half is
we had a lot of fight.
We seen the team, yes, that had a lot of fight. The 2021 Giants would have quit. 0-13, they'll just be paying for that paycheck, just going through the motions. We seen the defense come out there with 2 edge rushers missing. Last time I checked, edge rushers was one of the most important positions in football. And for our defense to come out there and keep one of the best, if not the best back in football, under 100 yards on the ground, in 21 carries, he had 81 yards. And by watching the game, obviously, at times, it wasn't the best game to be a Giants fan. It was sloppy at times, but when it all came together, I was super excited. If I told you that Barkley would have got his foot in back before the season started, if I told you that we would have came out here and beat the Tennessee Titans, Richie James would have led in receiving yards, and Barkley would have had 150 yards, would you have believed me? Now, one thing I wanted to point out where obviously Robertson got hurt, and I believe that Tony was dealing with an injury that he had hurt himself in practice. So that's why I believe that he was just on the field for a certain hands of
He
plays.
looked
One thing
healthy though, man. I mean,
he did
look at
look
that run that
healthy,
he had.
absolutely. And one thing I
I
did
think
like
there's
about
more
is
to it.
anytime he had the balls in his hand, he was able to do something right there. Instead of just forcing a throw, who knows, the safety Maida would have picked that off. He kept it and he gained 5 yards out of that play. What I did like to see, and I'll wrap it up. I don't want to spend too much time on the mic. I know it's your show, Mac. But what I do want to say is, when we went for that 2-point conversion and seeing Barkley and Sterling Shepard like hug Dable, I teared. I teared because like that just shows like, man, this is such a
He believes in
different
his team.
culture, man. Like, yeah, he believes in his team. His players are fighting for him. How our defense, a lot to clean up, but still, we played like damn dogs. And I'm just gonna
Shows you what
say
the
I'm
difference between a
excited.
coaching staff that actually cares
Absolutely.
and one that doesn't. Because last year we were talking about culture. No, this win was a culture win. This win is a win that is a building block. Now the thing is, we can't let down to the Panthers, even though the Panthers lost
Yes.
this game. Do not overlook them. Okay, we're still fighting to get our footing. And
Yes.
I saw a lot of stuff here that if Tennessee does, like, let's be honest, Giants played a good game. But if we look at the plays, if we really go back and rewatch this film, Tennessee's going to shoot them, be angry at them on Monday.
Yeah, Tennessee most likely beat themselves on a lot of stuff.
Right. And I'm like,
the
those
bottom
are.
line, but I was gonna say the bottom line is though, look, the reality is the New York Giants went down to Nashville. It might not have been pretty. But they beat a team that they really didn't have any business beating. They beat a team that
Real fast,
mostly
can I
no
just
one
say
else
this real
gave them
fast,
a real
Matt?
chance to beat.
I told this to Slay. I don't want to hear any chance about we missed the field goal or anything like that, because when we lost to Washington, when we lost to all these close games last year, everybody was saying how shitty the Giants are. So guess what, guys? We went out there and a win is a win. It doesn't matter how you win. We got it done, and it's a step in progress. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm gonna let you go, Matt.
No, this is a type of game that we just would have never even been competitive in last year, a year ago. So, let alone win it. So, and then it's because of like this comment right here, Richie James stepping up, players like that stepping up and answering the bell, man. You know what I mean? That's what we're going to need to have any success this year, any sustained success. We're going to continue to need players like that to keep stepping up their level of play, especially with Galladay doing pretty much nothing, and I still have no idea what's going on with Kadarius Toney. It's just going to, and like, why was Darius Slayton a healthy scratch? We
could have used him today.
Roster to put David Sills on the active roster and do nothing. I don't understand. I just don't. So things like this, we gotta, figure out our identity. But at the same time, I'm going to enjoy every bit of this victory tonight, man, because it was, like I said, an opening day win has been a long time coming for the New York Giants. 6 long years.
Congratulations,
Giants. And it's felt even longer than the 6 years that it's been, because it
feels good.
Miserable.
Feels good.
I know the Titans didn't make the playoffs last year, but they finished with the
They made
best.
the playoffs.
Oh yeah, sorry, they didn't make the Super Bowl last year, but they finished with the best record in that damn conference.
Yes,
so that's something to be super happy about, and I'll let Jeff take over.
We're actually fucking above 500. I can't believe it. We are actually an above 500 team for the first time since 2016. Giants fans, let that sink in. Now, I know it wasn't perfect. There's still a lot of things that need to be cleaned up. You know who
man. We need to find some, because
but you know what? They're coming at them when they get back from they get back from injury. We got our pass rush should be doing a lot better when you got Thibodeau and Ozolari out there.
Absolutely. Hey, I wanted to ask you about that, Adam. Did you like his bat down? Because I know you don't like Shane, but did you like his bat down?
No, dude almost cost us with a 15-yard penalty, man. He almost cost us.
I wanted to.
You want to know what I feel good for? Go ahead, Mac.
What's that? I was going to say, one thing I was going to say about, we were talking about O'Shane Ximines. See, one thing I guess I'd say about these guys is, what they've showed to me today is that they could be maybe valuable, good depth pieces, but we definitely need our horses back. We need Ojulari, we need Thibodeau back on that field, because those guys that were out there, you watched Jahad Ward, and these guys, they're clearly not. They're not starters. You know what I mean?
No.
They're the guys you want to just rotate in to give you real guys a blow. So I can say
we're very thin.
Yeah, so that's one thing that did show up today on the film, man, like big time. We had zero pass rush consistency getting.
Did we even get a sack?
Did we even get a sack? I don't think we even got one.
I don't think
sack.
we did.
I don't remember
They
seeing
were
one sack.
dominating us. So.
We
But-
never.
Aaron Robinson, he didn't get torched the way many of us thought he was going to get torched. So
It was,
At
an
the same
it was
time-
an interesting first week for me because I'm watching the game the first half and I'm like, yo, this team look like they're not going to win 5 games. Now, maybe we'll claw our way to 8. I still think there's a lot of holes on this team. I don't want – the thing is this. I'm not trying to say don't enjoy this win. I just don't want people to get a big head about us because, there are things that need to be cleaned up that we took advantage of finally, which normal Giant teams didn't. One was the turnover. Like, we got the ball inside the 8-yard line. Daniel Jones throws an interception to fucking Saquon Barkley. I'm like, oh, my God. Please. Please.
Yeah.
I wanted to point that one out. He goes and he throws the interception. I don't know what the hell. I guess he was trying to high point the ball. And I do like after he throws that interception, right? Brian Dable goes and he talks to him on the bench, and I love to see that, right? But then what I also love to see is him trusting Daniel Jones and be like, okay, you messed up, but guess what? You're keeping it, and you go get this first down. And you notice at the beginning of the game, the guy, Daniel Jones, get closer to the
Right, you're right. Come on, yo.
What are you doing? You're like 5 yards away from the outside, and then in the second half, you see him go and you go by the yards, by the out of bounds, and get the first down. I'm like, there you go, Daniel Jones.
But that's been his MO the entire time.
Yes.
It's been like, they do things one way, and then the next thing the light bulb goes on for the kid. I need you to do that at the beginning of the game when the game is in peril. Like I said, I don't know what the problem with the Tennessee Titans were because it looked like they were playing conservative because, you're throwing a big play.
They made some stupid decisions during this game, like really questionable decisions.
Like questionable, like Joe Judge decisions.
They
Third
did
and 1, and you do a tight end screen.
Right.
That,
you have the best back in football, and you have like an inch to go, and you're doing a damn end around.
They were undisciplined the whole game too. But I feel so good for a few guys, and especially the old guard. Saquon Barkley. How can we not be excited with what we saw with Saquon Barkley? And Sterling Shepard was great too in his blocking and his receiving.
It was a good play.
His blocking was great too by the goal line. Richie James was another guy that
we have nobody, Joe. Listen to this lineup. Richie James, David Sills were our receivers on the field. Like, what is going on? What is going on?
What was wrong?
Yeah, this game to me reminded me a lot of the 1:00 game to Chicago and San Fran, man. It was like the tale of two halves.
That was nasty.
It's totally the tale of two halves, man. Chicago did nothing in the first half of that football game and just came out and turned around and ended up winning the football game in the second half against the 49ers. Now, granted, it was some real shitty weather out there. But
you got to win that game for the 49ers, though.
Both teams are playing in it. You know what I mean?
That's a bad loss for the 49ers.
Let me ask you guys something, and I do want to, obviously not get too far away from the Giants, but how bad is Mitchell Trubisky? What do you got to do? How much turnovers do you need to seal the damn game, bro? It's like 5 turnovers, and they still take it in overtime. What is going on here?
They got bigger things to worry about because they just lost T.J. Watt for the season.
They did, huh?
T.J. Watt tore his pec.
Oh, damn.
So
that's major.
That's a killer right there.
He was having a heck of a night, too.
When Dable made that call to go for the 2-point conversion, what was the first thought on your mind, really?
For me personally, I said, let's go. We're not supposed to be here. I was saying, let's go. We're not supposed to be even be in this game. Why not? And then because exactly, if you miss it, then it's gonna be a long media circus. But if you make it, look at that hug. That just builds so much confidence. I trust in you players, and the players, they trust in the coach now because the way Sterling Shepard and Barkley hugged him, I damn near shed a tear.
That's the heart and soul of this. That's the heart and soul of this team. That's the heart and soul of this team.
It was like, wow, this just happened right now.
Because Dayball knows what those two guys and Jones have been through for years with all the losing and everything that's happened. And you don't think he feels good for those guys that they finally get a big win after the shit they've all been through over all these years? You feel good for those guys, and it's nice to see they were a big reason why we won this game. So, The offensive line, the interior offensive line was questionable too. I mean, I saw Zudu get beaten on some plays by Jeffrey Simmons. Neal got beaten on a couple of plays, but Simmons is a hell of a player.
And Zudu's a defense. I was going to say he's a rookie playing his first NFL regular season game, and Jeffrey Simmons is an absolute stud, an established veteran in this league, and you couldn't really expect Zudu to win that matchup. I mean, not week one coming out the gate. So I mean, Simmons was doing his best to wreck this football game, and just wasn't good enough. How about the performance of Derrick Henry, man? He got a couple nice runs off there a couple times too.
They controlled him pretty well. I think they got away from their game plan a little bit. They got cute. Like Tennessee got cute in the game. Like I don't understand. Like to me, it felt like in the first half of the game should have been like 21-0, and it was just like, oh, let's do a cute little end around here. Let's do this. Let's do that, and they never went really downfield. But then all of a sudden, in the second half, their offense turned it on a bit. Thankfully, we had those 2 breakaway plays. I mean, Barkley, man, I gotta give him credit, man. Good job coming back.
Barkley was unbelievable.
I mean, like I know we got 2 games left, but he has a chance to finish the lead. Week 1 leading in rushing. Second.
It is only week 1 for
it's
all
only
of that.
Week
But at the same time, it's just good to see Saquon Barkley look like Saquon Barkley again.
Yeah, 3 plus over 20 yards. Sorry.
Yep.
That's what it comes down to. People were already ready to run him out of town. People throw him away like garbage, like rubbish, saying he was washed, saying this and that. No, he just proved today that he is still an elite running back in this NFL, and he is one of the very best running backs in this NFL. He proved that today, and I'm just happy. I'm just proud of him, and I'm happy that he had this moment today, man, because he was the key to the New York Giants' victory today.
He was.
Six receptions for 30 yards, 164 yards rushing, and a touchdown, including that 2-point conversion he had. He was running strong, north and south. He broke some tackles. Barkley did it all.
Links up in the
that 68-yard touchdown would change the game. I mean, 68-yard run would change the momentum in that game. Yeah. If he doesn't get that play and they bottle him up, let's say, it might be a different ball game because they're inching their way downfield. With that, it kind of changed momentum. What I do love is I love the coaching staff more so than I do the team, because I know a lot of these guys may not be here next year. But this coaching staff is getting – this is what you're supposed to get, right? Yeah. You got Richie James, who's not a great player, let's be honest, stepping up. Why? Because just put him in a position to succeed. They're not having him run, flag routes. I mean, again, we had like 2 players out there on receiving. We had Shepard, we had Richie James. I don't know where David Sills was. Kadarius Toney, I'm still wondering what happened. Kenny Galladay, you might as well, I feel bad for Colin Johnson, because that would be the guy that would probably be replacing him right now.
Galladay did nothing again.
Like
I feel like an idiot saying what I said about him. 2 touchdowns and 100 yards. Yeah, he really did that today.
Like I don't know what it is. I don't know if they were playing him. I got to rewatch the film to see how he was being played. But if he's just not beating his man, then like it's going to be a tough road.
Galladay?
Kenny Galladay, man. Like
Sills apparently broke some plays too deep.
Yeah, I would like to see. I would like to see how much snaps Galladay played.
What's going on, Bobby?
Hey, Bobby. What's up, Bobby?
The Giants are gonna win.
That's right, Bobby. Let's go. New York Football Giants.
Mac, the Giants fan, how you doing?
I'm good, Bobby. How you been, man?
I cheer for the Giants. I was dancing.
And I know I say it a lot. I know I'm the biggest fan of this too. But how good does it feel to see a guy like Sterling Shepard, after tearing his Achilles 8 months ago, score that big 65-yard touchdown? Dancing
another play that was.
I cheered. I was ecstatic. How that.
Of course, you got to cheer. I mean, the funny part about Shepard is it's not that we don't like him. It's we see this potential, and then next week he'll stub his toe and be out 6 weeks. You know what I mean? If he can keep it up, he's gonna have a decent season this year.
He was good. He had some really nice blocks down by the goal line too to spring some of those.
I'm just letting people know though. We got a bullseye on our back now.
Good. Oh, we do.
Big bullseye.
What was wrong with Tony? Why didn't Tony take a lot of snaps this game? Was he hurt?
I don't think he was injured. I don't think he was injured. The way he looked on the field.
What's up, Hit?
What up, Hit? That sucks. We're having a Wandale too. Hopefully it's not serious.
What's wrong with him? How bad is it?
I don't know. He said he hurt his knee. And he was ruled
but I didn't
out
even see quick. I didn't see any reports. I didn't see nothing. All they said his knee was out. He was ghost.
He caught that one pass. Pass, and then that was it.
That's why Richie James played a lot, because Wandale hurt his knee in the beginning. So
Well, listen, this is good to build
And
off
Richie
of.
James definitely earned his paycheck today.
Yeah, James was solid, and he was good at our return game too. He actually gave us some pretty good field position a couple of
He did.
times. So Richie James was solid the whole game.
And what about
Special
Barkley?
teams definitely
Yes,
started off a
sir.
little rocky in the beginning of this game as
Yeah.
well, and they turned things around big time in the second half of this game as well. Special teams, so I was a little critical of some of the blunders in the first half of this game, but they turned things around big
Well,
time.
we got that turnover when the guy fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
Pinnock, that was a nice job by Pinnock to.
What about
I mean,
Barkley? 60-yard run, that run.
Barkley was unbelievable.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I mean, you
And
can't
And even like just the okay, you're gonna tackle me, but I'm gonna fall forward and fight for 3 or 4 more yards, like the rookie season, Berkeley, you know. And I believe he had 3+ carries for over 20 yards today,
Yes.
including that 60. I mean, like, I know
Coach.
I'm being real. You know, I'm
What's
trying
up,
to stay real
Coach?
optimistic because a lot of us, you know, can look at this victory and get too overexcited, and you gotta understand too that I don't want to look forward too fast. I still want to enjoy this victory, but the Carolina played a really tough Browns team today, and we really have a tough opponent in Carolina. And even though Baker Mayfield is at the helm, I wouldn't sleep on that. And hopefully we can get at least one of our edge rushers back because we're definitely gonna need them next week,
Yeah.
going against that team. But just staying on this victory while we can just settle in it because I still can't believe we won this game. Like I believe it. But I just wanted to ask the panel this one question. When it was going into the fourth, and we kind of was building, you know, we kind of seen the momentum building with this team, and then when we finally scored the touchdown to tie tie the game before we went to that 2-point conversion, and the camera was just panned at Dable. For me, I could just, you know, I just felt like even before we went for that 2-point conversion, I just kind of felt like the game script, the way it was going to go. I'm not trying to call myself a sidekick, but I just kind of had a feeling that we wasn't gonna get out of here without down to the wire without a fight. And even after going for that 2-point and converting it, knowing that we had 1 minute and 6 seconds on the clock and stuff like that, you know, Holmes let up, you know, comes out there and he misses the field goal. But my questions to the panel, well, I just explained all of that. In that final 3 minutes of the game, when the camera was on
Going on,
Dable,
Slay.
can't you guys say for once in a very long time, you guys actually felt like a little bit more like comfortable? Like, you know, in previous years,
No, because we still had Daniel Jones on the field. So I was like, you know, I was just praying that everything was, you know, I was just praying that he didn't fuck up because the last drive we had inside the 8-yard line, he messed up. I'm like, all right, let's just keep it concise. However, I do like his play calling. You know, taking a shot in the third quarter was a good thing to kind of open it up. I was a little nervous because you were seeing like dink and dunks, and it's like, we'll see how it does, man. That was exciting. I'm not over Carolina though, man. I just can't. I mean, that's a game we need to win, though. That's a game we need to win. If we lose to Carolina, man, we can't lose to Carolina.
Did any of y'all catch the Carolina game at all? Any of that game at all?
Yeah,
the highlights, bits and pieces.
No, I was watching the
came
Jets
back.
get their asses kicked today.
Again,
Christian
bye, Robert.
McCaffrey is going to come out hungry next week because he really didn't. Was not much of a factor. He did get in the end zone, but he wasn't much of a factor today, man. He only had like 33 yards.
The pressure of the Browns were real. I kept on flipping back and forth through the games today. The pressure was real. I mean, like, they was getting there. And obviously, you know, if you look at the sack numbers, it's not going to show up on papers, but like they were there. And, you know, Baker Mayfield was under pressure majority of the game, and they couldn't even get CMC going. I remember one time texting you guys, like, what is Ben McAdoo doing? Just give the ball to CMC. But they just couldn't get him going. And man, the Browns defense is a really good defense, and you know, we'll see how we stacked up against them next week. I just hope we can get at least one of our edge rushers back, and that's what makes me super excited. And I want Miz to speak because he just joined the legend Miz himself.
What the hell was that? The Cowboys just did an idiotic double reverse over there, and they lost like 10 yards in the play.
We got
the Cowboys.
We got a victory without our 2 edge rushers, and that's something that we kept Derrick Henry under 100 yards without our 2 edge rushers.
That's right.
And I'm just
look at Miz. All you gotta do is just look at Miz's face right now and that big smile over there, and you know,
What you got,
Miz?
Miz? What you got,
Take
Miz?
the floor, throw it out there, Miz.
I'm just happy that we won. I couldn't believe the way we won the game. I couldn't believe it. This guy Dabble, man, he just with one 2-point conversion call with the balls that he has, he might have won over an entire young team, an entire fan base, and an entire city with one 2-point conversion gamble. And
Miz, I teared when we converted. I had a tear running down my face because I couldn't believe it.
I was happy.
Yeah, and the defense without the 2 edge rushers, man, they held their own in the second half. They were unbelievable.
Robinson had a nice game.
Robinson, I like him. Robinson, he's gonna grow. He's gonna have his ups and downs, but he's gonna grow. And
Darn, ain't he stop holding people.
so happy win the game. Adam knows I was texting him during the game. I just wanted to win a game. Just want to win a game for once, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah.
Like to
It
start
just
off
feels
with
good
one
to
and
be
one.
over 500. It feels
Good.
good to be over
Happy on
500.
It's
Sunday
weird.
night.
To have a winning record. Even
Is it weird?
though it's only 1-0, it just feels good to have a winning record. It's been so long since the Giants have had a winning record.
Actually,
I was watching
Jeff,
the game.
We're all actually just sleeping. We're gonna wake up right now, and the game's about to start.
I was watching the game. I was over at my family's house, and I'm sitting there at the game, and I had to like sit there for a second and be like, "Holy shit, we're actually over 500." I forgot what it's like to be as a team, the Giants team, over 500. It's been that long, and it's just like it doesn't hit you yet until now. Like we're actually an above 500 team, and how good of a feeling it is. Like it just feels. It's a feeling we have not had.
I'm sorry, Jeff. It's not
No,
even
go ahead,
unrealistic to think that we're coming home and go for 2-0 next week. It is not unrealistic, man.
Absolutely
it's right there
not.
in our hands.
Nope.
And I tell you,
We better be at 0-0.
I know you guys are not going to believe me, but I told the guy next to me, yo, he's not going to hit this field goal.
Hey,
The reason why I felt the Titans wasn't going to make that field goal is because I feel like something's turning because of this head coach Dabble. Like fortunes are turning. You went for a 2 when you weren't supposed to. He hit it, and I said he's going to miss the field goal because this coach deserves this game. It felt that way. You know?
Well, I feel like the first time we have an actual competent coach, right? Like I don't necessarily want to go for 2, but you know, he knew the situation. His defense did exactly what he thought, let him downfield to get him into field goal range, right? He knew that his defense was compromised a bit. So instead of saying, instead of going overtime, right, and playing and waiting for overtime, he played for the win, which how many coaches in Giants history right now have played for the win? Not many in the last 3 years. I mean, McAdoo didn't play for the win. Shermer, my God. Yeah, I've never seen Shermer in a game this close, and Judge probably.
Cowboys just lost another
Judge is
offensive
running
lineman.
quarterback sneaks on 3rd and long, so you know.
I mean, there's a lot to clean up. There's a lot to clean up. He's
injured, huh? 66.
Yeah, Cowboys just lost another one of their offensive line.
Starting line, and he looks like he's done. He's done.
Yeah, they look at a mess right now.
Hey, you want to know one thing though? All right, DJ threw an interception in the end zone. Yes, he did. But for the most part, I thought he played pretty well today. In the beginning, he was getting a beating, you know. But they brought themselves back together. They came out for the second half, and you know they played a pretty solid football game. And of course, Barkley put the game on his back, which we all have been waiting for 2 years. And it's exciting to see that.
If Daniel's going to be the passenger and Barkley's going to be the driver, then I'll take it. You know what I mean? You know, I'd rather put the game in 26's hands than number 8. And I think that's the only way 8 kind of survives, because had he lost that game, we would have been talking about the clarifying things that, you know, happened in the game with his pocket, certain things breaking down. But because we won the game because of Barkley, you know, this needs to happen. Barkley was the focal point of the offense last year. Hopefully, he's the focal point of the offense this year, especially when you have Richie James out there. My God, you know, like he was good, but geez, we need somebody who is going to step up.
It's got to be Tony.
Like,
Tony's got to play more.
He's not even on the field.
That's the That's a problem when
He
Tony's
needs to
on
be
the
on the
field.
field. He needs to get the ball.
But
Yeah,
why?
Tony's got to
It
be
doesn't
on the
make
field, and
sense to me.
Galladay's got to do
You know
more.
what? I want to give a special shout out real fast to my two Hawaiians, both from St. Louis High School, and Marcus Mariota and Tua Tagovailoa. Both Hawaiians did very good today. Obviously, the Falcons defense can't hold the game to save their lives, but that being said, I think if Daniel Jones if we can see a healthy Robinson and a healthy Tony, we can do somewhat what Waddle and Tyreek Hill is doing in Miami, like nice
Well,
and
Robinson's
fast. Like,
injured already.
yeah. Well,
Yeah, we
Robinson
don't
is
know how
injured,
serious
yeah.
Robinson's
True, but-
injury is.
You know what I'm saying?
And the
But
fact
like,
that he was nowhere
kinda,
found.
if you kind of look like if you kind of look what Miami did against the Patriots, like the ball was out of Tua's hands, well, like not as fast as I thought he would have been. Obviously, it's the first game. I think Mike is gonna pick it up, but you can just tell with the speed of that Miami's offense, you know, and
Cowboys just moving the football.
Waddle and Hill, you know, both Waddle and Hill producing today with you know the other guy, the running back, I believe is Edmonds and stuff like that. But like just the ability to move that, you know, move the football fast and just the ability to play fast football. I think we can do that somewhat with the Giants. And then we move closer to the end zone. You throw it up to a Bellinger, a Kenny Galladay if he ever wants to participate in the football game.
Where was our
You
tight
know.
end? We finally had a tight end.
$72 million decoy. That's what Kenny Galladay was today. A $72 million outside decoy. You didn't even try him in the red zone
We gotta
once.
live with him one more year. We gotta
Yo,
live
can-
with him for 1 year. So whatever. We gotta live with him for a year. That's all.
Oh my, yeah, we
Let
got to
me
see him
ask
for
you
another
this question.
16 games plodding around.
Let me ask you this question. What's the deal with Tony, man? Because he's such a talent and it's being wasted.
I think
Is
I
it
think
he
he's
either he either did something wrong, or they're trying to work him in because he didn't play because he doesn't know the playbook or something like that. Because why are you using him in the third quarter? And the defense
he
knew what he
banged
was
up?
doing. When he came in the game, he lost yardage.
David Sills played a lot in this game too. He rotated in and out. Obviously, didn't get a throw.
Yeah,
his
I'm
way,
glad.
but he
I'm
was
glad
in there
his
a
0
lot.
catches did a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Giants won today, so I'm not even mad at anything. But like I hit on DraftKings, but I would have hit major because I had Tony in a lot of lineups because he was only $3,000.
But he's the best player. He didn't get
And
the ball till the second half
I
of the
don't know
game. Like,
what
what are you
happened.
talking
Offense was Barkley mostly, and it was James and it was Shepard. That was the offense.
Yeah, at one point when those kept on passing to James, I'm like thinking like, what is James the only receiver getting open or something? Like, what's going
Yes.
on here?
He
David
was.
Sills
He
is
was
not
taking advantage of the
great.
slots.
Yeah,
There's got to be a reason why Tony didn't start to get going until the fourth quarter. There's something. I mean, listen, man. His history is like the coaches get mad at him. So.
And why was Slayton inactive?
but you gotta understand something too. I mean, like obviously you know more than I do about college football, man. So I didn't pose it like that. But wasn't Tony injured his whole collegiate career?
Yeah.
Like he's been dealing with injuries. So it's kind of like, you know, I do think outside of Berkeley, Tony's our best playmaker on offense because when he gets his hands in his ball, like his ball in his hands, he's amazing. I think Sterling Shepard, if he remains healthy all fucking season, he is our number one. If Sterling Shepard stays healthy, he's our number one for sure. But
Cowboys nail when you're
Tony, I just we need him on the field just for even if he's there as a decoy, he's a way better decoy than Kenny Galladay.
He's an enigma. Tony is the biggest enigma right now on this team because we don't know what's going on with him. I mean, we don't know if maybe he got injured again during practice or like he aggravated something.
But guys, he was in the game.
I don't know.
But that's what
in the game.
I want to see how much snaps he was on because I guarantee he was probably I don't want to guarantee it, but I think he was probably in the game maybe on like 35% of the offensive snaps. I kind of think maybe he injured himself, and Brian Dable's all like, "Here, just go out there and run around," because like.
But they gave him the ball twice, and twice they gave him the ball or ran a play, the defense knew because he didn't do anything all game. So now Tony's in the game. That's who they keyed on. I mean, go back and watch the film. The 2 plays he's in, they keyed on him. I mean, they stopped him basically.
But that's
for
what
that
I mean.
pass
Like by
play.
go run around, like here, go get the ball, go run around. But they're not like we didn't see them like. Tony didn't run a superior route down the field and them take a shot at him. You know, it was mostly just handoffs.
I got a question.
For what it's worth, though, that one play, or the second play when he was going to look to throw the ball, he made a good decision, not just chucking the ball downfield.
Yeah, he did.
Nobody was open, and he still made a play, turned it into positive yards.
plus
So
5 yards on that play when the safety probably would have picked it. And OBJ,
Right.
nothing against OBJ. OBJ would have let that ball go.
Yeah.
You know what
But
I'm
Well,
saying?
I got a
but
question. I got a question for you guys, real quick. Finish your point. Do we see what you got to say, Adam, first, and I got a question for
but
everybody
that's what I
in the
mean by the
chat.
play that he made out of a negative play, he made into a positive. Those are the type of plays we need, especially when Wanda Robinson goes down. You don't play him in the second half. That tells me there's more going on than just he's injured.
Mm. What did you guys think about the performances today by the Eagles and the Commanders when they and their wins today?
I think the
Don't
Commanders were dog shit because like nothing against Washington, but like I swear to God, it was like the Jacksonville playmakers did not like. I watched at least probably like a quarter and a half of that Jacksonville game, and then also tuning back into red zone. But like the thing is with Jacksonville is like Trevor Lawrence, man, he was giving these receivers and these playmakers like every single chance to score a touchdown, and it's like, oh, we don't want to score a touchdown now, Trevor. And obviously, I don't want to take anything away from the pass rush of Washington because they ended up still in the game and coming up with the victory, tying it with a still in it with a field goal. But the thing is, early on in the game, dude, Jacksonville could have been up by like 2 scores if people chose to just catch the damn ball. There was so much drop passes. If you go back and you look at the stats on that game, I guarantee you the receivers probably dropped like 10 to 11 balls. Like nobody wanted to help out Trevor Lawrence.
Mm.
yeah, but I will say one thing about Washington's performance. Carson Wentz
Oh
definitely. I
yeah,
mean, he had a
I don't
couple
want to take
big turnovers,
yeah.
but he also had 4 touchdown passes,
Yes, he
two
did.
of them to the rookie from Penn State,
Yes, he
Mr.
did.
Jahan Dotson. He also
right,
hit
and
Terry
that's the
My
difference.
McLaurin.
DraftKings lineups.
Also hit Mr. Terry McLaurin on a big one. He
Yes, he
also hit
did.
Curtis Samuel, so he spread that
Yes,
ball
he did.
around too. He spread the wealth, man. Carson Wentz definitely made a difference on that Washington team, man.
Yeah,
If
thank you for
Definitely
Wentz
made
is
an
clearing that
not, if
up.
impact.
Wentz is not, if, wow, it's like premium takes.
Yeah, it is premium takes aftermath. And
But it,
The Eagles had their defensive rotation was
what about
solid
Detroit
for them,
though?
and AJ Brown is like a beast. I mean,
I
jeez,
just I just
AJ
want to
Brown is a
point out
beast.
one thing real fast. Why is it when AJ Brown gets traded to the Eagles, people forget like like how good AJ Brown is?
No,
Like us
I didn't
no,
forget
Giants
how
no,
good he
fans,
not
was.
me. Not
not
me.
you, Adam. I'm gonna get to you, Adam. I'm not talking about you guys. But I heard so much Giants fans and so much people on the NFL saying that AJ Brown's washed and like people don't understand. Like
Washed.
Who said that?
people on Twitter. That's why I only
Oh
go on it.
God,
Here's the thing. Here's the
please.
thing. He played injured in Tennessee and still got over 1,000 yards. And that's why I wanted to point out this. Adam, I was going to finish with this. I do want to point out, I'm happy that you did include him in your top 5 because today he did look like a top 5 receiver.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. He was a top 5 receiver in Tennessee, but the thing is, people don't. Tennessee's not a marquee team. You're not really lining up to watch the Titans. They're boring, right? That's what they are. They were a boring team today, and they've been a boring team every day. If AJ Brown's in that game, we probably lose, right? Because of what he brings to the table. But with the Eagles, they fought the game. They beat up. They at one point they. I know people are talking about the defense. They were all over the Lions. The Lions did not give up the fight. That's what happened, right?
Yeah.
The Eagles were up like 31-14 at one point where you're like, oh man, this game is a wash. And Gerald, when you let off on the gas, they came back. But Detroit, I got to give them credit. Like this is what I'm telling you about these teams, right? We're sitting here looking at Jacksonville. They didn't look like a team that was 4-11. They looked like a team that was a pretty good team. This is what I'm talking about. These games, don't just think that they're going to be a win just because we won against the Titans or anything like that. These teams are going to come to play and happen as you saw today, where we could be in peril. And don't sleep on the Commanders too, because guess what? With a quarterback that's they're going to still confidence. And I'm just worried that I'm worried. I'm just worried about this team. I love the win. I'm excited, but I just don't want to overlook Carolina.
Oh yeah, don't
No,
overlook Carolina.
no, we
But
can't
I think
overlook
Can't
Carolina.
can't overlook anyone.
yeah,
We're not
No,
good enough to overlook anyone.
that's true.
we had a
But
good win today, but there's still a lot of things that this team needs to clean up.
No,
There
you
are still
enjoy it for the
things.
night. You enjoy it tonight,
Exactly.
and you get right back to work tomorrow. As far as I'm concerned,
Absolutely, you're right.
true.
you get
You're
right
right.
back to work.
One thing
Just
I want
enjoy
to
it for the
point out
night.
too is I think it was Hazan Reddick that just left from Carolina.
Yes.
Yeah, so like his emptiness, like it really Brian Burns really felt it today.
Mm. And I
I'm
mean,
sure they did, but
Devontae Smith did nothing in that game, and they still put up like 30. What was it? 40
Well,
points they had today against
I
Detroit.
mean, Jalen Hurts had a pretty good
AJ
game.
Brown's effort and AJ
Yeah.
Brown's efforts. I mean, they all their touchdowns. They're all three of their running backs scored touchdowns. All
Yeah.
three of them.
First time I think
Sanders,
since
Gainwell, and Boston
1961.
Scott.
I think it was first
Listen.
time since 1961 where they had 4 different guys score a rushing touchdown, including
That's
Jalen
what you're going to
Hurts.
get from the Eagles. A lot. You're going to get a lot of that from the Eagles. Their defense was like it can be. It's not necessarily as great as not as good as everybody might have thought it was going to be, but at the
It's
same
first
time,
week too,
maybe Detroit's offense is just that damn good, and we're not giving them enough credit for all we
Detroit
know.
got playmakers.
So,
But I mean, like
was
they
good.
came up and hit some players. I mean, Darius Slay had a good hit. A couple of their corners had a good hit. And look at the Cowboys
I mean,
defense standing
Bradbury
up right
had the
now.
big pick six. I'll give shout out to James Bradbury making his Eagle debut with the big pick six today.
I do want to.
I mean, I got to give the Giants credit for playing a game that was above their pay grade, staying in it, and finding a way to win a game that they normally would lose. Right in the past, where we probably lose on a log field goal or some dumb botched defensive play. Looks like Wink Martindale got the point and said, "Listen, or have them go up and down the field." Like let's be honest, Carlito's not great, but he made some plays. He's around the ball. He does what he needs to do, and that's good for him.
How about one play I want to talk about this? How about Tay Crowder absolutely blowing up Derrick Henry
That was
on that
nice.
one play?
Yeah.
kind of was a tone
Folded
setter.
him.
I was impressed by the defense. I got to give him credit. I got to give the entire team credit. I'll even give Daniel credit, even though I know it's fool's gold when we're watching
He
it.
was
here, because-
so-so. Jones was so-so today. He had some good
But
moments.
yeah, I'm just saying he was average. He was average. The Tiger doesn't change his stripes. We knew Barkley was a beast. We knew Barkley was a beast. Daniel Jones is the same guy we've seen all 4 years. Fucking issues, same stupid shit. But you can win with a guy if you have a guy who goes off. I mean, think about it, right? He had a sack fumble on. Yes, I get it. Josh Azuda got beat, but he had time where he was already in his drop back, right, and his arm was coming forward, and you're like, dude, just eat it, just eat it. Getting 1 yard in a play, like these are the things like Daniel, you shouldn't have to be yelled at by your coach. Like, hey man, get your shit together.
I think Daniel needs to go to like some kind of camp, like a baseball camp. He can.
I mean, he still had 2 turnovers for every touchdown he had. He still had 2 turnovers. He had the fumble and the interception, and he had a touchdown, 2 touchdowns. I mean, you can't have that. You can't have that ratio. You can't have 2-to-2 ratio. You either got to have 2 touchdowns and interception, 2 touchdowns and a fumble, or 2 touchdowns and nothing.
No, you're
Well,
right.
fellas, man, I'm gonna probably wrapping this up in a little bit, but anything y'all want to look forward to going into Carolina against Carolina next week?
Just pretty much. It's
Just
great
bring
to
it.
have this win tonight. Great to have this win tonight. Go into the next few days, clean up some of those mistakes, and let's see what we can do in our home opener against the Panthers. And let's try to make it 2-0 with this team. Maybe we get back Ojulari, Thibodeau, maybe both of them. But I mean, was it the greatest victory? Was it the greatest game? Absolutely not. But the Giants were able to come out with a victory. With most years, that kick would have been good. If this was last year or years before, that kick would have went right through the uprights. Maybe something is changing a little bit. We don't know yet. It's just one game, but for one game, it's good to actually feel like a Giants fan and after a big win. It's a nice feeling.
Well, I'd like to say
Absolutely,
this.
man.
It was a
And I'll
great
go after you, Adam.
great by the team, great effort by the coach. I really, really admire him for believing in the guys to do the job, and I think we're off to a good start. I think we're off on the right foot. Do I still think this is a rebuilding team? Yes. Do I think there's a ton of holes? Yes. Do I think a better team beats us in this game? Absolutely. But you got to give credit where credit is due, and the team stepped up when they needed to. Barkley, like he said, he wanted to show the league that he was the best back in football, or arguably one of the best backs. Keep it up, man. Because right now the Dallas Cowboys are in a dogfight with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We had the Washington Commanders win a game. We had the Eagles win a game. It's about time the Giants put themselves in the win column and got the division race started pretty well. So keep it up, Giants.
There you go.
Yeah, and I wanted to say, obviously we're gonna have a whole week to preview against the Carolina Panthers, but all I know is that CMC and DJ Moore did not feast this week, so they'll probably be looking to feast next week. And DJ Moore is a way
Maybe
better
the Browns are
receiver
better than we thought. Maybe the Browns are better than we
yeah,
think.
yeah, the Brown exactly, and like
Chubb
DJ
was good, and so was Hunt. Both their running backs played solid today for that team.
DJ Moore is going
phenomenal.
to be a really tough
Yeah.
competition for our cornerback. So hopefully we can figure out how to stop DJ Moore, and also too figure out how to control CMC because he's going to be looking to catch balls out of the backfield too. So we did a good job stopping Derrick Henry, and now we got to go out there and stop CMC and that defense with Brian Burns and a lot of. They have a great team. Carolina does have a great roster, obviously not in the upper echelon of the league, but still a developing roster, same like us. So we can't just look at this Tennessee win like, oh, we beat Tennessee. We're going to come out there and easily beat Carolina. It is a winnable game, but we'll just take it one game at a time and we'll just hope for the best. Because if Lovey can have the Houston Texans play like that, no game is given.
No, absolutely
Well, look,
not.
well, look,
Absolutely not.
man. This was just a great opening week, man. And the Giants, man, like I said, you just got to stay the course. You got to continued growth. Look, the reality is, as ugly as the win as this was, we went down to Nashville and we got the job done against a team that, like I said, mostly everybody counted us out of this game. Most experts, anyway, counted us
Yeah.
out of this game. So you know what I mean. The fact that we went down there, ugly or not,
I did.
and got the job done and got the job done and got the job done.
Yeah,
You just gotta be excited about that. Enjoy this win week one, man. Like I said, New York Giants above 500 for the first time in like about 5 years or whoever. I don't even know. It might have even been longer than that. No, about 5. Yeah, probably it's the last time we won an opening game. As a matter of fact, it's the
Yeah,
last time we were over
16.
500.
in the last 6 years, we
Yeah.
had one.
So,
Yes, this is the second time in the last 7 years.
Yeah.
so
Well,
you just
we won
gotta
in
appreciate
2016.
that and know and understand that. Got Carolina next week. I did see a good bit of that game, a good chunk of that game. Baker Mayfield got a lot better as that game progressed late in that game, and he damn sure almost brought Carolina back to win that football game. So keep that in perspective, that he is still a pretty solid quarterback. And they got CMC, who is one of the absolute best running backs in this league, who did not have a great day today, but he's going to be looking to get back next week against the New York Giants. And also remember, like I said, NFL players, don't forget, man, we embarrassed this football team a year ago when we played them, last time we played them. So they're gonna remember some of those guys in that locker room that are on that team. They're gonna still remember that as well. So this is gonna be a fun home opener. And hopefully we can go out there and get the job done next week and be 2-0, man. But right now, definitely enjoy this, man. And remember, the first week of football, and we got a tie already, week one, a week one tie? Come on, week one tie, and then he had another game in overtime. Joe Burrow, who would have seen five turnovers from Joe Burrow? Who would have seen that coming?
Yeah, but you know what?
You know,
The Bears are 1-0. That's
Cincinnati.
Bears.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
He didn't play the preseason game all year, and then got thrust into the season. He didn't practice and do much. You're like, all right, here you go, start the game.
That's true. Yeah, that happened.
Well, that's what I was talking about when we were chatting earlier on the text. You know what I mean? I don't understand why these coaches don't seem to want to why they want to hold these players back in preseason. You got to get them some degree of reps, man. You can't send them out there. Hold on for 1 second, fellas.
Did anybody else get hurt in the game today besides Robinson, or was it just him?
I'm sorry about that. But
just curious if maybe if anybody else might have gotten banged up at all. Hopefully Robinson's not long term though.
Yeah. Did anyone else see Dable holding his chain like, oh my God, please God, let us get through this win?
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny. He was holding his chain, it was a cross or a crucifix, and he was just, hopefully I didn't give them too much time. So let's take a listen. take it for what it's worth. Let's not sleep on the Panthers just because they lost. And let's go. Away we go.
And the
And I
best
like
moment that whole time was getting to see Brian Daboll sitting there getting fired up when Saquon Barkley and Sterling Shepard are like yelling in his ear, and it's like embracing the two of them after that big 2-point conversion. That made you feel good as a Giant fan, seeing like that moment right there. Like that actually, like Zion, I think you said it before. That actually like made me feel good as a Giants fan seeing that.
It did, man. He doesn't need a shout out, but everybody, well, like a lot of people is like, how is he gonna do it out here? Patrick Mahomes is gonna be perfectly fine.
He was good.
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes was
exactly.
good.
He's Patrick Mahomes. I don't know why people don't seem to understand that man is he's a stud. Tyreek Hill didn't make Patrick Mahomes good. Patrick Mahomes is just good.
And who's this
All
guy
right,
in the
he's just damn
Chargers? This guy in the Chargers, Carter or something, had 3 touchdowns today.
Oh, he did, huh?
Yeah, I don't know who this guy is. It's just out of nowhere. He scored 3
I
touchdowns
think
for the
Palmer,
Chargers.
as the two of the receivers is hurt. I remember reading that early this morning when I was doing research while making my lineups.
Yeah,
And
Allen
then
injured his hamstring.
yeah, and then that's why this guy probably got to see the field more. But yeah, the wide receiver DeAndre Corder, I believe his name is.
Yeah, he had a good game today, and I what would you guys? I know you have to close it out a little bit, Mac, but what do you guys think was the best game of the day besides the Giant game?
I'll have to.
That Eagle Detroit Lions game for me, man. That game was awesome. That game was fun to watch.
Yeah.
I can't say that game because I hardly watched that game. I only watched it via Red Zone. Well, what I wanted to ask you guys about that game was I did watch the first quarter in that game, and the Lions had somewhat of a momentum, and Aiden Hutchinson just started off the game amazing. Did that continue?
He tailed off a little bit towards the end of the game.
He didn't make much noise.
The Eagles adjusted.
I tell you who did validate themselves today as the number 1 overall pick in the draft was Mr. Trayvon Walker. That kid had an amazing preseason, and it has translated right into this regular season. He had a great game out there again, a really good game against
this is what I mean,
Commanders.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying about these 50-50 games, because now, Jacksonville comes in, they played a Commanders team that wasn't that good, but that was a 50-50 game for them, right? Let's say they go down the line and they see us, right? That's a game they're going to circle and say, hey, we have a chance. We have a chance in this game. The Texans, we have a chance in this game. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Let's go back and put some things together. Hopefully we get through this next week, not lose anybody next week on that life. And if we put 2-0 together to go into the Cowboy game, we're on our way. I don't think we're as good as we think, nor do I think we're as bad as we think. I think, like I said, I saw an average team out there that got opportunities because another team decided to let us hang around.
That's the thing I'm worried about, is that some Giants fans are going to blow this out of proportion, think that we're going to go like 12-5, 13-4.
Already got a busting cat in Ohio right now.
We have to you have to understand too. We got the win, which is great, but also Tennessee made some very, very questionable decisions during this game that probably turned things around. They really made some very stupid decisions in this game.
When the momentum was needed.
At the end of the game, when they had that delay of game, when they had the one timeout left, that was a killer for them because they had an opportunity to maybe get some more, yardage on the field, and then they had that delay of game. They had a delay of game. They had to call a timeout, and that killed them on that one play too.
That 5 yards right there could have been the difference in the game, right? Let's say they get the 5 yards. That could be that difference in a field goal. Let's say it's a 27-yard field, a 42-yard field goal, a 1-yard field goal, right? And let's be honest, that had the distance. He just took it slightly left or right or whatever it went. Left, I think it went. So, these are games the Giants are going to be in. We have been on the losing end of a lot of these. Let's keep it up. We have a bullseye on our back now. Trust me. People are going to be like, oh, okay, Giants, you beat the Titans? All right. Everybody's going to now start to bring their A game. Let's see if we can hold up.
Absolutely, man. And fellas, we are about to wrap. I'm about to wrap this thing up, man. And everybody, I want y'all to make sure y'all tune in Wednesday to the Real Deal NFC East Roundup, where we'll be talking about this game a little bit more extensively, as well as the Eagles, the Lions matchup, the Commanders Jaguar matchup, and the Dallas Cowboy and Tampa Bay Buccaneer matchup. So make sure y'all tune in Wednesday because we'll be looking ahead at the week 2 matchups as well. Me and my super dope co-host Adam Costas.
Thank you.
This is the Four Horsemen. Joining me on an edition of the True Blue Aftermath. And we about to. Y'all got any more last thoughts before we get out of here, man?
It's kind of gonna be corny, but we should all take the time and enjoy every single moment of Tom Brady because this is probably gonna be his final season in the NFL. So let's sit back and watch him demolish these Cowboys. But
People hate that guy.
Oh, shout out to Minnesota's defense.
And Justin Jefferson too. Justin Jefferson is the truth. And Aaron Rodgers yelling and screaming on the sidelines. You're the reason why Devontae Adams not there, Aaron. Have fun with the guys you got. You wanted the big bucks, and you lost your number 1 receiver for it, as well as Zadarius Smith. So that was another revenge game right there. Zadarius Smith against the Packers today.
Absolutely, man. So
Jets still suck.
So yeah, just make sure y'all definitely, like I said, tune in Wednesday because it's gonna be a fun show on Wednesday. We be breaking down these NFC East matchups. And for now, man, I'll be back next Sunday with another edition of the True Blue Aftermath immediately following the Carolina Panthers New York Giants matchup, man. Thank you guys for coming through, hanging out, man. About to say, Pay.
You want to be great, you got to work at it, right? I'm on one today. It's a great day to be great, bro. Remember that. It's a great day to be great. Let's go out here. Let's get a win. Let's focus.
I'd like to thank you all for listening. If you was feeling this, please take time to subscribe and smack them likes. Feel free to drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to ring that bell so you know when I'm dropping new content. It's your boy, MacDaGiantsFan. You can find me on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at MacDaGiantsFan. That's MacDa Giants Fan.